of the day, by the way, of course, is coming to us from the Miami Heat and Bam Adebayo making history last night with an 83-point performance. He is now the holder of the second most points in NBA history, beating Kobe Bryant by a couple last night. The stat line. Okay, 20 of 43, 7 of 22 from 3, 36 of 43 from the free throw line. Boom. That is, of course, an NBA record for free throws made and attempted. It's also the first guy to score 30 or more on less than 50% shooting. This is a controversial 83-point record that's been set. I've only been up for a couple of hours, and the radio and the TV and everybody's heated. So I start with you, Chandler. How you feeling about this record being set last night?
Yeah, listen, whether you like it or not, having 83 points in an NBA game is awesome. It's super impressive. Just to have the stamina and just the will to be able to take this many attempts and this much effort is super impressive. And I was all for this until the last 6 minutes of the game. And listen, I'm not going to be one of those old heads that hate on this. And this is truly unbelievable. If you gave me, I don't know, 50 guys in the league right now to guess who had an 80-point game this year, I probably wouldn't guess Bam. And not
fair
to knock him. That's just not what he's done. He averages 19, 20 points a game. And again, he's a great player. I just wouldn't expect this eruption for him. But I had no problem with it. I respect Spoelstra leaving him in there to do it. I respect the Wizards doing what they did. It got a little silly there at the end, and it did with, purposely fouling the other team and purposely missing a free throw I saw, so him to maybe get the offensive rebound. There was little stuff there that I could see the controversy, but I don't think there's a reason to rain on Bam's parade this morning. This is history. This might be the most points ever because there's zero footage of Wilt ever scoring the 100. Whoa.
Ooh.
Wow, how about the lights flicking right
That's
when I
Wilt.
said that?
That was Wilt. Hope you feel good about yourself.
I'm going to steer clear then. I'm going to stay out the way.
Yeah, don't say anything, Lou.
But I'm not going to come up here and rain on his parade after what he did. 83 points no matter what. He has etched his name in the history books. He surpassed Kobe Bryant's 81-point game that I didn't know would ever, happen. So this was awesome to me. And again, it got a little silly there at the end. And I do think there's some warranted hate for how it happened at the end. But at the end of the day, this was unbelievable and history was made, and I'm happy for him.
Super impressive. Super impressive. I got no complaints. I got no criticisms. Listen, when you subscribe to doing silly things, you play silly games, you win silly prizes. Washington, they subscribe to trying to stop him from getting, it looked like the 81 points, or just trying to stop him from continuing to score the way that he was scoring. We can make a case about the 36 free throws. Those were legitimate fouls. They couldn't stop him. They were fouling him. And he shot the free throws for it. I didn't see a lot of flopping. If anything, a lot of those are supposed to be and ones. If you ask my opinions, a lot of those fouls that he were getting, they were supposed to be finished because he was fouled in the act of shooting a lot of those fouls. If you look at it, the first half when he had 43 in 19 minutes, a lot of that was just bully ball, him putting his head down, either dunking on somebody, laying the basketball up, or complete and ones. And when they couldn't stop him from getting to the rim, he made three-pointers. Now, was it his most efficient night once he realized he was scratching the surface of history? Of course not. Once you get that close to the fire, I'm going for it. One way or another, I'm going for it. I'm going to try to make history, So, look, if you're playing a team that's going to triple team you full court, that's going to deny you inbounds, three-quarter court, and put three different guys on you and switch everything and trap everything and try to stop you from getting a record, you're entitled to do everything to continue to go and try and break that record. That includes challenging when you're up 25. That includes leaving you in the game when you're up 25. That includes all of these things. Intentionally fouling. If you're going to intentionally foul somebody on my team, well, we're going to intentionally foul y'all. And all of that stuff, it turned into a little silly back and forth game, but both teams were doing it. At the end of the day, history was made. A lot of people that are going to complain or have criticisms, they've never been that close to an 83-point game, including former players, including coaches. A lot of these guys, they don't have the criteria to even have this conversation. Now, it's fair for everybody to have their opinions. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have an opinion, but until you understand trying to make history and getting that close to it, as NBA players in any other league there is, I'm leaving with this piece of history. Whether you like it or not, or whether you like how I go about it, I'm going to leave with this piece of history if I get that close to it. That's what Bam was able to do. So I was impressed by it. Like I said, I got no criticisms for Bam. In years to come, nobody's going to care how it happened. Nobody cares how Kobe got his. Nobody cares how Wilt got his. Bam is part of history now. Salute to him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Lou. It's like, at the end of the day, 5, 6, 7 years from now, we're just going to see Bam Adebayo 83 points. We're not going to even look into the stat line. We're not even going to look into the challenge calls. We're not going to look into the intentional foul. Like, that's not even going to be remembered anymore. So the fact that that name right there, his name this morning and forever, is on that list has got to be awesome, has got to be so humbling, and such a what a cool accomplishment for a player.
Spo got me off the
list.
couch. Yeah, Spo got me off the couch. When he challenged that foul, I said, now that's a coach I can rock with, because he understands
100%.
In this moment, I'm going to help my guy try to be a part of history. So we're going to take all conventional wisdom out of the door. Everything that we thought we were about, everything we thought we stood for, tonight is a different occasion. Tonight is a different night. We're scratching the surface of something completely unique that we haven't seen before, that we'll probably never see again for Bam or the Miami Heat. We're going for it. So, a lot of coaches that will be frowned upon. But look, when all of this silly stuff started going on for you to try to stop me, well, I'm going to do some silly things for it to continue on. So I was down with Spo for all the decisions that he made and leaving Bam in the game. I was down.
And by the way, we've seen coaches do this all the time, whether it's like for a guy to get 40 or 50 or 60 points, for a guy to get a triple double. Like coaches do this.
Sure.
And again, this was just magnified because it was 83 points and it was passing Kobe Bryant, and it was the scoring feat of making history. But coaches do this all the time. It just wasn't for this exact example, and it wasn't this dramatic with the back and forth of the team. So again, also Washington, if they have a problem with it, do something about it earlier while he has 40 or 50 or 60. Like, don't let it get to this level.
They couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
Again, he shot 43 free throws. He got fouled 20 plus times. He was getting fouled. None of these were flops. None of this was him. Like, there were even some fouls I thought they didn't call that were fouls as well. Like, he got fouled on a couple threes. I was like, yo, that's 3 free throws. But he didn't get it. A lot of this was legitimate. So whether you like it or not, or whether you didn't get your opportunity to just cheer at the screen from somebody scoring a bunch of points in a row, he had a lot of great moments in this game. So don't take away from what the last 4 to 5 minutes of this game did for him to even have an opportunity to be in the conversation of getting the 83 that he got.
I think what we're doing is sort of conflating two things, right? Like, it can be entertaining that a man did what he did last night and it's historic and it's on a list, but you can also be irritated because it was ugly and gross and kind of cheap, especially the last 7, 8, 9, 10 points. So I think both things can be true here, and I don't think you're necessarily. Look, Kobe fans this morning are angry. They made an announcement on the PA last night during the Lakers game, and the PA announcer was like, "I have a mediocre update to history." Like, it was sad, and they booed. I think both things can be true, and I think missing free throws, it got a little weird at the end, but I think because people also love Bam Adebayo, we're happy.
Yeah, and we gotta understand. I'm not gonna start an argument with Laker fans or Kobe fans, but I played with him. He put 60 shots in the book before he stepped on the court in his last game. So again, we just got to look at these things from a different lens. On his 81-point night, his last 7 points were free throws. Anytime you're this close to history, you're going to see some wonky, weird things happen. And I get it. People don't want to see the record being broke for anybody. I'm sure there are some Wilt fans out there, some old heads that don't want to see the 100 be snipped. But I guarantee you, when Kobe Bryant had an opportunity, he was going for the 100. He was going for the 100. And so when you set a bar like Kobe Bryant at 81, Bam is going to go for it. Records are meant to be broken. History is meant to be lapsed. And these things happen. So, everybody that has a feeling, I'm sure everybody has a different and unique reason why they feel the way that they feel. And a lot of it is going to come from Kobe Bryant fans and Laker fans. And that's fine. And that's okay. End of the day, we all do something a little wonky once you get an opportunity to do something special. Simple and plain.
Yeah. And it's hard to talk negative at all about such performances like this, but they all had like their wonky situations, right? Like Kobe, again, like Lou said, his free throws and the way he was gunning, of course he was. Like, once you get to that level, if I'm getting to 55, 60 points, you better believe that's going to change my
I
mindset.
want
And
to
I'm
see
like,
what I'm gonna
okay,
get. Yeah. I
yeah,
want to give
like
myself a
at this,
shot.
I'm invested. Like I might not ever be here again at 60. Like
No.
I'm going for it. Same thing with Devin Booker. He was gunning. There's rumors that Philly was letting the Knicks score so they could get the ball back during the Wilt 100-point game. So if you want to tank Bam's, you got to look at the other records too, because I guess all of them weren't very ethical to a point. Now Kobe's game was close. I'll give him that game was at least competitive and close. And also, none of these records were against teams with winning records. So listen, there's a lot of asterisks, next to all of these guys' performances. At the end of the day, they're all historic. They're all unbelievable. And it's crazy that we try and find negative, reasons to talk about games like this.
And you said it, Chandler, like everybody was invested. The crowd was invested. The
100%.
Washington Wizards were invested in not letting him get it. Miami Heat were invested. When you're in that moment, you gotta go with the moment. You gotta go with what's going on. Like I would have been pissed if I would have seen anybody in the Miami Heat uniform take a shot under 5 minutes. I'm like, what
Yeah.
are you doing, bro? Why are you shooting the basketball? Even down to his teammate missing the free throw. I saw Bam on camera saying, "Don't foul." He didn't want it like that. But if y'all are gonna play a certain way, we're gonna play a certain way. So again, we can criticize, but none of us were in that moment. And until you've experienced something like that, or until you've been a part of it, you wouldn't understand. That's just the nature of the beast. You
And
won't
I
quite
think that's
understand.
the problem. And I didn't want it to be so egregious at the end that when people talk about it, they talk about that. And I do feel like it got so,
Yeah,
like I
Silly.
said, it got so egregious that at
it
the
got
end there,
silly. We can call it.
that I
It got
feel like
silly.
now when
However,
people, I know, but
go
when
ahead.
people that obviously watch the game, they're going to be like, yeah, Bam had 83 points. But, and it's going to be, something that comes after that, which is fine. I'm sure Bam's okay with that because at the end of the day, he still has the second most points in a game in the history of the world. So hate all you want. I don't care. Like it, love it. This dude is in the history books. And now I'm really interested to see because now the floodgates are open and we got a lot of
Oh, it's
scorers in
happening.
this league
It's
that
happening.
are going to be absolutely hunting this record, knowing it's
I
possible
thought
now.
that. Like, think about it. Think of how much time elapsed between Wilt and Kobe, and now between Kobe and Bam. Like, it's just going to get shorter and shorter. So we're 100%
Well, we
watching
got to throw
currently an
Book in
active
there.
player.
Book made a run for it. We got to
He
throw
made a
Book
run
in
for
there.
it.
So it was, yeah, it's a little
How
different.
about Joel? How about Joel
Joel,
70 and
Well,
3/4?
you've had a couple
Luka's
guys make a run for
capable.
it.
Like, I think it's definitely coming sooner rather than later. This
Now
next
these
record
guys
break.
know it's in reach. Now these guys know that, and the coaches know too. Damn, Eric Spoelstra just let him rock. We're gonna have to do the same
Really
thing
did.
if that time comes.
By the way, is there a Jalen Rose in all of this? Because I feel like Jalen Rose has had years of sort of ridicule from the 81. Like, who's the new Jalen Rose? Do
I
we
think
have
all
one?
the Toronto Raptor guys are kind of breathing a sigh of relief if
They're
getting
off
out of
the
that
hook.
history book. I saw Sam Mitchell celebrating a little bit with some champagne there. I've seen a lot of the Toronto Raptor guys taking a little sigh of
Yep.
relief after this.
Now you don't have to do this anymore. No, we have to start naming the Wizards from last night. The records. It's not just the
Good luck.
points that were scored last night. I know. Yeah, that's rude. He also, I mentioned the fact. All right, points scored 83. Yes, that's a record. Free throws made 36. Free throws attempted 43. I don't know if any of these records. I think we all agree the points are going to get beaten. These are all going to get beaten, right? Like the seal is broken.
You would think.
Yeah, like I said, the points again. This isn't just easy. Like I don't care how good of a scorer Luka, and if it's that easy, they would have done it already. So the fact that Bam has now done it and it showed these scores that what they do at a high level every single night. Like when I think of Bam, I think of a great player, a defender, a rebounder. I don't think of a scorer. So that's
Right.
what I mean by 30, 40 guys over him that could possibly do. Like I would think Tyler Hero would have 80 on his team quicker than he would have. You know what I mean? Just go black out from three, hit 23 pointers because nowadays you can take 40 in a game. That's not really been Bam's game. So I do think the scoring, the free throws to me is the hardest. But again, I would think it'd have to be a close game where they're hack-a-shacking somebody or it's a double or triple overtime game. Like I can't even picture the scenario of how or when this would happen. But I think that the points, I think, is the one that would get broken, which is crazy because it never has before besides Wilt.
It's coming. It's coming, Lou. By the way, does it make you feel a little differently about Wilt, Lou. And I'm not getting you in trouble here. It's a genuine question because if Bam Adebayo can get 83, we'll probably go to 100, no? Like, come on, makes it easier.
Well, listen, we saw what Bam had to go through to get his 83. We saw what Kobe had to go through to get his 81. And we've seen what Joel and Dev Booker had to do to get their 70s. 100 is a lot with no 3-point line. It's a lot. So I just got to see more footage. I don't know. I just got to see more footage. I got a lot of conflicting stories. You got to think, I played for the Sixers my first 7 years. I was around people who were around at that time that claimed they were witnesses and so on and so forth to their games. So a lot of OGs and old heads. And I don't know. It's a very conflicting thing. It should be something that shouldn't be disputed from not one person if they witnessed it. And so that's all. I love Wilt. I love history. I love Kobe. I love all of these guys. History is history. But I don't know. For me, 83 looks like the number right now. 100 is going to be a lot to go get for anybody else out there. So it is what it is.
And that's what's funny is like this. There's history, but this is Bam's history. Kobe's is his. Wilt's is his. We as media and talking heads, we like to combine all of them.
How do we make this about Kobe Bryant? How did this become about just Kobe Bryant?
Why do we have to compare this performance to these other performances? This is his own individual, fantastic performance that, by the way, nobody has ever done before. So how are we comparing it to anything else besides maybe Will, who had the 100? No one has done this before. So let's talk about it in that light and give him the flowers that he deserves in that light, because there's one other man on the planet that ever existed that's done what Bam's done. So who cares about the other guy's performances? Let's talk about Bam and how unbelievable the feat is. And yes, again, we all know the ending of it was a little silly, but still, at the end of the day, no man has done what he's done, and that's really, really cool.
Well, you have to compare it simply because they're numbers. There's no more beautiful way of comparing things than having actual valid statistics. So I get it. I think the Kobe fans are going to call this disrespectful no matter what. There's a sentimentality that comes with Kobe Bryant now, especially. So that's going to be a tough. So you're not going to win them over.
Let me say this, Beetle. If you are a true Kobe Bryant fan and you respect Kobe Bryant, you know that Kobe Bryant relentlessly haunted records in history. And he wanted those things. That's what we sign up for. We sign up to be competitors. That's what we are. So if you truly respect Kobe Bryant, you knew that he had the Mamba mentality. I promise you, he was going to get that 100 points. He wasn't thinking about Wilt Chamberlain. He was thinking about going to get a record. That's who he was as a competitor. That's who he is. That's why we love him, because he was relentless in trying to be the best that he can be. He wouldn't dare stop somebody short of being the best that they can be because of his record being in the way. He wouldn't dare do that. So anybody looking at it as a disrespectful thing towards Kobe Bryant, we're just kind of having revisionist history here. Like, that man wanted to cut everybody's heads off. Everybody's heads off. So if you respect him and you cherish him and you love him the way that you do, just know he would have hunted anybody and anything that was in his way of making history. Simple.
You were there. You were there for the 50 shots.
And I guarantee, and he was going for 100. He wanted 100. There's nothing wrong with that. We are competitors. All of these records are meant to be broken. All of these things are meant to be passed. We are competitors at the end of the day.
It's just like disrespectful. Like, this has nothing to do with Kobe Bryant. This has nothing to do with his performance. Like, I don't understand how this
Chandler, you know it does. If you're a fan, you know it does. There's context. They're going to use
then it should be disrespectful to Devin Booker. It should be disrespectful to Joel. Like, what standard are we setting in sports here where we don't want records broken?
Was SGA's most games over 20 points the other night where he tied Wilt? Was that disrespectful to the game?
No.
So stop. Like,
but it's not gaudy like this is. This is a gaudy number. It's going to.
These are these guys' own. This is Bam Adebayo.
I wasn't watching it. I was watching a real game. This was all happening while I was watching real basketball.
By the way, I was too, Beats, and I did flip. I
flipped to this game. Yeah, I was watching the Celtics Spurs, but at a certain number, we all tuned in. And listen, man, we just got into a place where we got to absorb some of this and enjoy something. Can we just enjoy something in sports right now? Not at all.
Why can't this night just be about? Why can't this night just be about Bam and the Heat and a hell of a performance? Why is it got to be about anything else?
Because he beat someone else, and that someone else has a gazillion fans that are diehards and will never.
No, he beat the Wizards in the game last night. That's all that mattered.
Everybody beats the Wizards. Like, that's not a thing.
I just think it's so dramatic. That's disrespectful. Like,
guys,
give him a break.
I'm going to, before I'm done working with you two, I'm going to try and you understand what it's like to be a fan. Like, you guys are players, so you have a completely different perspective. But there are people, and you may think this is sad.
And we just trying to tell you that y'all be wrong a lot. That's all.
I get that. But it doesn't change the fact that people are angry about this today. Like, they're out there.
They'll probably be angry at us because we're making points that doesn't go with their
you know what?
They'll be mad at me after this. But it's whatever.
You know what,
man?
Lou? Shame on Bam. Why would he do this? Bad Bam. You should never have tried and done this in Chase history and broke an NBA record that you probably never even thought was real.